Okay, what I got here today is a hog leg, wild hog leg, and I've already brined it, which is just basically a simple gallon of water, cup of salt, cup of sugar, and whatever seasonings and flavors you want to put into it. I use my rub recipe in my brine just to get the flavor profile that I want. Now I'm going to prep this the same way I prep my Boston butts when I do pulled pork. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to slather on some mustard. You can get some mustard on here. Don't need too much, just enough to get that rub to stick. Rub that in there. Make sure when you brine, before you do this step, rinse your brine off. You know, and pat it down a little bit, and get your mustard in there. Now, the smoker that I'm using today, the Smokin Tex, holds in moisture and makes it real nice to just do a long smoke or to smoke lean cuts of meat like a wild hog leg. But you're still going to want to put that extra moisture in it because there's no real fat on a wild hog. This is my own personal rub that I use. You know, you can use any kind of rub that you want, and that'll cause you to have flavor that you desire. This is the flavor profile that I like. And in my rib video, I give you exactly what this rub is. And see how that rub just sticks right to it? That mustard just holds that rub right to it. Now I'm going to let this sit all day before I put this in the smoker. It's already been brining for a few hours, probably about 12 hours. I put it in the brine, and that's going to impart a nice flavor to it. And then this rub here will go ahead and add even more flavor to it. And then of course once you get to the smoker, you can add another third layer profile on it. Okay, that's it. That's all you got to do to prep a hog leg. Just go ahead and brine your thing, brine your meat. Brines are simple, real simple and easy to use. You can brine it in a cooler with a bag of ice if you had to. Now, put your rub on it, let it go as long as you want. The flavor is up to you. However long you want to make it is however long it's going to be. Just go ahead and come back later and I'll put it in the smoker. Okay, what I've done is I've let my wild hog leg here go for 9 hours in the rub. Now I brined it overnight, and then just about 5 o'clock this morning I put the rub on it, and I let it go for about 9 hours. It's real moist right now, and I'm putting it in the Smokin Tex, and I got about 2.5 ounces of wood. I'm using a mixture of hickory and apple wood in the smoker. So I'm just going to set this up right now, and I'm going to let this go for about 225 degrees. About 225. I've got my thermometers in there. I don't cook by time, I cook by temperature. And I've got it set for 200 degrees. That's what the temperature I'm going to want. Now what's going to happen is in about 8 to 10 hours, this meat's going to hit a plateau. It's going to stall on me. And a couple ways to break that stall. And what that means is that it's just going to level out. The temperature's not going to increase. It's just going to go ahead and it's going to stay at the same temperature. It may go up a degree an hour. It's just going to level right out. So what you do is you can wrap it in foil, and that would increase the heat in the meat, and that would break your stall. And another thing you can do is raise the temperature. Since I'm only doing it at 225, I still have another 25 degrees I can go on the Smokin Tex and bring my temperature up. Now at about 3 o'clock this morning, that meat's going to stall. I'm going to get up and I'm going to wrap it in foil. Now I'm not going to videotape me at 3 o'clock in the morning wrapping up a piece of meat. We'll just talk about it. And then tomorrow morning, or when I get up, if I have to raise the temperature a little, you know, we'll talk then. But for right now, the meat's in the smoker. It's at 225. It'll smoke for probably a good hour or two, and then it'll just continue on cooking low and slow And at about 3 o'clock this morning, I'm going to wrap it in foil. Okay? I'll see you in a few hours. Okay. It's just about 200 degrees right now. This is going to make great pulled pork. Okay, what we're going to do is a little barbecue trick. We're going to open it up. And as you can see, I never set it past 225. I came back here at about 3 o'clock this morning and I wrapped it with aluminum foil. Keep it from drying out, which it really won't do inside the Smokin Tex, because the Smokin Tex maintains moisture real well. You don't have to use water or anything like that. Just brine your meat. And when on a long smoke, you want to wrap it in foil because it will stall out on you. And that's any cut of meat. Well, that's any smoker that'll happen to you, not just a Smokin Tex. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the meat. But we're going to do a little trick. Is that you wrap it in a towel. You wrap this up in a towel and you stick it in the cooler. And then you just go ahead and unplug this. Take your meat, your wrapped up meat, and stick it in the cooler. Let that sit for about an hour. Come back and we'll pull pork. Okay, been over an hour. It's been in the cooler. Gonna unwrap the meat. See what we're dealing with here. On the pulled pork. Ah, that's nice and that's nice. That's looking real good.
Okay, push the one.
Now this should now if you did this right, the bone should just fall right out of this meat. You just pull right out. And it does. Just come out real clean. And now this meat's ready to be picked apart and just shredded and have pulled pork sandwiches. It started out Friday night. We did a nice brine and rubbed it all day. So Saturday we let it sit in the rub all day Saturday, and then today we just finished smoking it and put it in the cooler for a little over an hour in a blanket or in a towel, and you see the meat just falls apart. Just comes right into pieces. Perfect. And that's all there is to it. Okay.